All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Speculation Alley. This is week number 2, and we got something really exciting that we're going to talk about today. But first, how was that intro? I mean, that got me going. Mm.
Our boy over
Um,
here, Crypto Dilly, whipping out the big guns for us, huh?
yeah, I need to get some good animation going, get things prepped and ready for some freaking tinfoil, and we're gonna bring the tinfoil to you guys today. Just talking about the other side and how we feel like that actually connects directly to 10 KTF. We want to be able to give you guys some insight into why we think that the other side and 10 KTF are actually related and what that means for 10 KTF's holders. Hopefully, hopium. A couple weeks ago, I actually did a Twitter thread on the other side and what I think it means for not only holders but for the other side in general. So I'm going to break down why I think that you know 10 KTF holders are actually going to get land, and what that means as a overall total, like as far as the connections and everything. So first and foremost, I mean, 10 KTF, obviously we know that it's not, directly connected to Yuga Labs, or at least it's not said that it is vocally, but it's more like a if you know kind of thing within the ecosystem. And Yuga Labs obviously is one of the largest in the space. And one of the big things that you continually hear is the Bored Ape Yacht Club founders talk about how they actually basically blew up. And it's because of Gaio Siri. On October 12th, 2021, Gaio Siri is brought on to represent Yuga Labs, which is the co-founder of Wenew Labs. And Wenew Labs is actually the parent company to 10KTF. And Gaio Siri is also a founder of Sound Ventures, which is a venture capitalist fund that actually put seed money directly into Yuga Labs. And he represents the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Madonna. He represents World of Women. So the guy's a big freaking deal. And
Yeah, if you look up
along
if
with
you look up Maverick Management, that'll tell you a lot about him. That's his company that he created. They represent some of the biggest names in the music industry. So yeah,
Yeah, not only that, but like this isn't tinfoil at all. This is like not speculation. This is like right here. These are just connecting the dots. We obviously have Michael Figge and Beeple. Michael Figge is the founder and creator of Possible Productions, which represents the visual effects and everything for things like the Super Bowl, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, just a whole breakdown of a lot of things. And then obviously Beeple, he's one of the greatest digital artists of our time, with the highest selling NFT in the whole space. But what's important as far as the connection to the other side? Let's jump into that. There's an important connection because um, the 10KTF project, they had this list of parent projects that were supported by 10KTF crafting. And if you're new to 10KTF, essentially what crafting is taking an item within the store, the blanks, and being able to pair that up with a parent project NFT and basically bring them together so that way you can create a special NFT of shoes that has your parent PFP on that shoe, right? So those ones that are supported is Oni Force, you have Bored Ape Kennel Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Cool Cats, Cryptodes, Gutter Cat Gang, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, Forgotten Ruins, Wolf Game, and also World of Women. What's interesting about the starting lineup is the majority of those are, either CCO or they have IP rights. So when this video actually came out, the first Otherside trailer, it was on March 19th of 2021. And 3 days or 4 days before that video was actually released, Yuga Labs actually acquired the IP rights for MeBits and CryptoPunks, which is two projects that were actually Larva Labs. The important behind that is really that now you have the IP rights, and so then 4 days later, this video drops from Yuga Labs with all these different NFTs, and obviously it's giving you IP rights. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, A-Bomb, but I don't know that Yuga Labs has actually done anything else with Meebits or CryptoPunks other than the idea that now you can craft items from in 10KTF using
I
the
mean,
IP.
you're correct. At the end of the day, well, what's interesting to me is like that they acquired these, and then 4 days later they had this video ready to go. So, what does that tell you about their capabilities and turnaround time? It's impressive, if not only that they're able to do that, but also the fact that they've been working on that deal maybe even before then, and it's seamlessly happened for them. Like, that's equally as impressive if they had to do that in 4 days. So I do believe, though, again, some of the guidance that they're getting from Guy Alsiri is essentially what's leading to some of these simplistic transitions and these moves that we're seeing being made. And like you're saying, this is in March, so again, yes, what more have they done with this? Not much that I know of. I haven't seen like Bored Ape Yacht Club necessarily putting out more video, image, or even illustration context that is showcasing Meebits or punks, you know what I mean? So, or the nouns. So at the end of the day, I think it was again something to make it easier for these collections that they see value in, and then their communities being able to expand them in a way that had not been tapped into yet. Because like you said, if it's not CC or you don't own the IP to it, you cannot do these things. So it's a very important part of the whole puzzle here, which I think that was one of the biggest reasons that this all happened, was because of 10KTF. Is exactly what I think you're saying, right?
Well, and beyond that, I think obviously this is even before tying it into 10KTF. I think obviously you need to bring the big players. You need to have like
Right.
the top blue chip projects kind of coming together to be able to really represent a metaverse that everybody's going to flock to. Because in all reality, the only way that you're going to bring everybody to mass adopt something is if all the projects that you know and love are already there and they can bring all their communities with it. And so,
Right.
obviously, in building the other side, I think that's a huge component. But what I've seen within 10KTF is obviously we're kind of like building, in my perspective, the game mechanics of what we're actually going to be seeing in the other side, the storytelling, and obviously like Battletown and different things like that, which we can dive deeper into in a little bit. But
Right.
6 days after, they actually dropped the tweet for that. Well, now you actually have this, tweet from 10KTF shop with an alpha in plain sight, 10KTF X Boss Toads. This actually originally just says sale coming soon. And then we edited it to put the little money signs on there. But you can see that it says ape right on the actual screen. And so a lot of people, we had all the tinfoil hatters and within our community, myself included, thinking like, oh, ape, we're going to get ape coin. We're going to get ape coin. And of course we get laughed off, right? We're like, everybody's like, you're crazy. Like there's no way that's happening. And so little did we know, 4 months later, 10KTF holders were able to claim ape for holding, staking, and playing in Battletown. So what's great about 10KTF is they always hide the alpha right there in front of your face. It almost smacks you whenever it comes full circle. And the alpha, they're really like strategic. They've been planning this stuff out for 8 months, maybe even further. And you can go back to these images that are from the beginning and even pull alpha out that's actually being released, within the week. So it's pretty cool. Any comment on that, A-Bomb?
You said it best. The team does a phenomenal job at leaving breadcrumbs right in front of you. So it's almost something that our community has been almost too good at, because of the deep speculation that we do get into, where we dissect so many different things that it would be almost impossible for us to miss something this blatant. But it's interesting, as you know, Dilly, when we think it's very blatant, right? And it is. It's like right in front of your face. But when you brought this up to people, what was the response?
No way that's happening. Like you're dumb. Like you get laughed off the
Right.
stage. I mean, it's the same thing as we. I'll probably touch on this a little bit later, but we started seeing the Coda bottle within 10KTF like in the shop, and we're like, dude, like we're all getting Codas. Like there's a Coda bottle in the 10KTF shop, and we go into Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord, and they're like, the mods are like, yeah, shut up, like there's a violation of IP, like they're actually encroaching on our like intellectual property, like they can't be doing that, like they like got all mad at us. But yeah, super funny.
Which is so interesting too, because like when you do put two and two together, and you're like, oh wait, Guy Osiri, who is a founder of Wenew created 10KTF. He also represents Bored Ape Yacht Club. So in a sense, like it is such a if you know you know, and but that also shows how close they play their cards to their chest. Like they're not even letting some of their top devs or community members, at least mods at the very least, know about what's going to be happening because of how, I guess, how strategic they are in that way. They don't want it to slip out. So they've done a phenomenal job at that. And we've obviously experienced it because, I remember when I brought that up to a few individuals, they're like, yeah, you've been sucking down that hopium. And we definitely do.
Yeah,
So, rightly so.
drinking the
But at this,
Kool-Aid.
so I'm making it. I'm over there just like, you guys want more? You guys want some more? I got a whole barrel over here, baby. Let's go. Oh man, it's great.
Speaking of
It's great.
barrels, the scavenger hunt for the first trip, dude. Like we had
There we go.
the glasses from Wagme. So I'll touch on that in just a second, actually. But
Yeah.
before I do that, I mean, we were alpha testing. I think that we're alpha testing the game mechanics of the other side. And one big thing that I really like that makes me think this is that we know that each other deed actually has resources on the land. Now we know that those are going to be mined and that they're going to be used for something. And in my like impression, the way that 10KTF shop is set up is we have gotten materials and we've been able to combine these materials, individual NFTs together to actually create a singular NFT. So, cloth and leather, and you combine
Which
that and
is
you get
so
a
fucking
backpack.
cool in and of itself. Like that's just like I remember doing that in video games as a kid, and I'm like, oh dude, this is awesome. Like I found this like jewel, and I found this other thing, and I'm gonna combine them and make this thing. Like that's such a fun element, and we're actually doing it with assets that are real. Like in a game, I don't get to like take that out of that game or actually own that. So
Yeah, I mean you're taking that game mechanic, and what I think is going to happen, and Herman Narella actually hits on it in a tweet. He says, "What if we did a collaboration with M2 and 10KTF, where you could forge any NFT collection into a dynamic NFT that any M2 tech world would then imbue with in-game properties? We could tie it into physics or our avatar system. Commercial
right.
rights alongside NFTs are so powerful and have barely had the power unlocked. 10KTF is fascinating." And he names 10KTF by name, right? So the guy who is behind Improbable, they're creating the other side. He's obviously curious and he's talking about 10KTF. And what's really interesting about this point is the fact that obviously the crafting and combining of these NFTs to create another NFT, well, they could be very easily replicated within the other side for resources and land, and using the resources off the land to create an item within the game of the other side or the platform, as Herman Narella talks about, and the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club talk about the other side. But you said something in a space the other day. You want to hit on that?
What about with the specific like
The
resource gathering?
flamethrower.
Flamethrower. Okay, yeah. So this is a great example of what an in-game mechanic could do. Let's say you're scavenging around like the other side, right? And you find X, Y, and Z. You go to Wagme shop, and these pieces make you a flamethrower. What do you do with this flamethrower, and why does it have value? Well, let's say there's a huge wall of ice in this game that exists, but on the other side of this wall, there's all these goodies. There's all these like NFTs. Like there could be a pair of high tops. There could be cloth. There could be thread. Other resources that are actually have in game and out of game value, aka an Ethereum, that you would want to get to because of their value. But it's a puzzle. That's what games are. Like how do you get to there? So if you have a flamethrower, it would theoretically make sense that you could melt a hole through the ice and in turn get your goodies that are on the other side. Now, this is just one very basic example of how these items that are being currently crafted in the 10KTF ecosystem right now are going to have a major effect when they're actually implemented with a game mechanic to it. Because yes, drip is cool. Don't get me wrong, boy. I got two Gucci's, and I'm gonna be dripping all through the metaverse when we get our avatars and shit. But the a bit like, for instance, like if you have a Gucci avatar, this is another example. Like thinking not game mechanic, but also entertainment mechanic. There's a Gucci event, or Harry Styles is doing a concert. He's very closely connected to hv-mtl. They do a collaboration in the metaverse with the Otherside. You own a Gucci, come to the Otherside fucking party and come jam with us. And maybe you get like a POAP or maybe an NFT drop because you were at that party. These mechanics are what I believe Diamond Hands, we all know Diamond, the legend, shout out to you, brother, but he says these things have not been priced into what we're currently seeing in this market. So that is something we're going to save a little bit more of this for another video. You guys can see I'm getting all excited. So we're going to get into the deeper nitty gritty of sort of those game mechanics, what even high tops could do for you in a situation, whether it be a game actual mechanic where it's a challenge or an obstacle you need to overcome, to a simple invite to something that maybe you now have. If you own a pair of 10 KTF high top Bored Ape Yacht Club Genesis shoes, maybe you get into the Otherside the Ape Fest when they live stream it or whatever next year on the Otherside. Maybe you get a free ticket just because you have a pair of ape shoes. I don't know. That's just
I mean, dude, maybe Battletown badge, Midori Land bracelet, we actually get a real live concert. Maybe it's that crazy.
Bro, that's what I mean. Like, that's the genius part of it. That's something my team and I work on, is onboarding IRL and vice versa. And when you figure out how to take somebody that would never go to a metaverse concert, how you get them there, it's literally like finding just what they want. Like Harry Styles, here's an example. Somebody loves Harry Styles and they're like, no, I'm never going to go to a metaverse concert, but they know Harry Styles is performing in London, and you give them a free metaverse concert. It's because they love Harry Styles that they're going to fucking go. It's the same reason why we show up as we do for 10KTF, because we love this character. We have I don't know, just passion.
My grandpa, dude.
Yeah, he's our grandpa, okay? Don't mess with him, all right?
I mean, that's probably the biggest charm to 10KTF, and that's kind of the thing that I'm realizing that Yuga Labs needs from 10KTF is actually Beeple made a tweet or a Discord comment. He talked about how Wenew, they're the ones that are creating this stuff, and everyone else, they pay them to do what they do, right? That comment right there from Beeple really shows and signifies like what Wenew is and what they're capable of. But the storytelling that they're actually really diving into, we're starting to see that unfold. And that's really what brings people back each and every single week, is the story of Wagmi-san and his battle for New Tokyo and everything that he's been through. Even from a young boy or even a young man when his shop burns down and these unsavory characters, pin him down for some money. It's the same thing that he continues to go through, that hardship, and draws you in and it sucks you in because of the story that is being told. And so we get that first glimpse of the real connection between the Otherside and 10KTF on the first trip. The first trip of the Otherside, we actually go on a scavenger hunt. And the scavenger hunt is, it's in tandem. We have a Battletown mission, okay? And Battletown, for those of you guys who may be new to 10KTF, it's where all of the avatars, we are able to do a loadout. We actually have a PFP, and we're able to attach items directly to our PFP, and we get points. And we send those out every, Monday or Thursday, whenever the mission begins, which we're notified in Discord, and the story continues and it tells it through these Battletown missions. Well, one of our missions is called Other Glasses, and we sign up and register for this mission on, I think, a Monday, and the Otherside, that mission actually ends on Saturday. Well, what's ironic is on that Saturday is when they do the first trip, okay? And when they do the first trip, the countdown is, for Battletown, it's ending at the middle of the first trip. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know why that is. But during the first trip, Curtis, he directs 4,300 Voyagers to help a friend that lost his glasses during NFT NYC to find them in the other side. So for 10 to 15 minutes, at the same exact time as the countdown ending for Battletown, we're looking around the map looking for these glasses. Finally, somebody finds them, and they are on a barrel over by a palm tree, and they are red rims, perfect circular glasses. They are the exact same ones that whenever Wagmi-san rolled his car and lost his glasses and they were broken, they're the exact same ones. And we get a badge from Battletown right when the scavenger hunt ends, the Battletown mission ends, and everybody is rewarded with this badge of these glasses. So right there, it's an if you know, you know type deal, right? We know now based off of the Battletown mission ending and these glasses being found that we have just completed a mission and it's part of the other side. And if that wasn't evidence enough for our community, 10KTF, I don't know what was. It was just like, there's no way that that's a coincidence that everything just lines up so perfect in that moment. And I made a tweet about it initially, and I had a bunch of like Bored Apes like blowing me up, like there's no way, like that's just a coincidence, or yeah, somebody lost their glasses at NFT NYC and it was so and so and blah blah blah. But it just lines up too perfect for that not to be the case. Did you remember that, A-Bomb?
Bro, first of all, 1-9 found it in a 10
Yeah, 1-9. Shout out, bro.
OG over here found him. First of all, it is, again, it's right in front of your face. First of all, like this is something where 10KTF is acting in a way like they're like, hey, this is here. If you know, you know. Like this is if somebody else just sees a pair of glasses, we're over here freaking out. We're like, oh my god, it's Wagmi-san's glasses, and it's just hilarious. But at the same time, it's interesting to see because what I'm getting at is this concept of how close Yuga and 10KTF really are. Because if you listen to what Crypto Daily just said there, at the exact same time that these glasses were found, our mission ended. At the same time that this Otherside launch happened, our mission started. So like these elements that are timed up perfectly, I mean, if that's a coincidence, bro, we're living in one crazy simulation right now, okay? And that's I just want to preface again, that means that these teams are in the same room or very closely connected at the very least when they're making these game plans. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And again, this just goes further to show you how involved 10KTF really is in the other side. Like, dude, they made one of our missions, our missions from Battletown, a part of that launch.
Yeah. Well, and I really do. They're definitely developing, a storyline for sure. They're helping with that regard. But there's also the tie-in with Ape. Like days before the combat crates are actually released, Gucci stores internationally accept ApeCoin. That's no coincidence, right? Like, why would there be that connection between Gucci and 10KTF already built? There's a story that's built out. We have Gucci NFTs that are literally Gucci PFPs, and then you have Gucci accepting ApeCoin. Well, then days later, we get the combat crate drop, and you use ApeCoin, and all holders that are OGs or have been staking, 10KTF tools, well, they get this claim for ApeCoin, right? And we had been speculating for months that obviously from that first tweet where it says sale is coming and it looks like Ape, that we were going to get ApeCoin. Well, at least some of us, the ones that were really tinfoil. But it hadn't actually been like proven. It was just pure speculation. And then we see these different pizza boxes, and it tells us that we're going to be able to use ApeCoin for the combat sale, and that we were going to receive ApeCoin for our allocation of NTD. So really, really cool, that dynamic. And it shows again, directly that Yuga Labs and 10KTF are working a lot closer than what meets the eye. And so it's important to highlight that 10KTF Shop is a core contributor to the other side in both storytelling, content creation, and game mechanics. and land's coming. There's 100,000 more deeds to be dropped based on the estimated revenue. You can see they expect the same revenue as before, and that indicates that the distribution will be similar. The distribution for the first land drop was actually 10,000 went to the Bored Ape Yacht Club members, 20,000 went to the Mutant Ape Yacht Club members, and then 15,000 went to developers. And then they had 55,000 for sale. So the way that the breakdown is, obviously it says that there's 100,000 more plots of land that yet to be actually given out. And the big thing about that is obviously you have the Voyagers are going to be rewarded. And so there's obviously that speculation that all the Voyagers are going to receive that land, and that's theirs that they're going to receive. Or the other theory and speculation is that the other side, the way that the logo is that one side is the top of the land, and if you flip that over, that's another land deed, and so you actually get 2 land deeds, and so you'd have 200,000 plots of land. So there's a lot of different speculation, and I'm going to get into what I think the breakdown for the next 100,000 plots of land is going to be. But I know that there's 15,000 plots of land that were given to developers. And those are those that actually helped with the development and creation of the other side. So with that being said, we have a lot more connections to 10KTF and Otherside. Obviously, the multiple appearances of Kodo Juice. We've seen Kodo Juice in the shop multiple times, and I'm gonna pull up this actual screenshot on Twitter real quick of the shop. So you can see right here, this is actually a tweet from May 19th, 2022. And right above Wagmi-san's head is the Kodo bottle. And this is the first time that we, I think, see the Kodo bottle inside of the shop. And what's great about this is that was the first time that we really had that connection to the other side. Before that, it was, again, just tinfoil. Like we saw the submarine or whatever come out of the water, the ethereal river, if you will, with all these PFPs that are the direct representation of all the parents of 10KTF. So there was a varying speculation in the beginning that obviously 10KTF was linked to the other side. Well, this was like the first time when I saw this Kodo bottle in the shop, I was like, dude, it's guaranteed. Like there is no question that 10KTF and other side are linked. And I don't know about you, Avon. Was that kind of like the first time that the speculation was really confirmed for you?
I mean, that was the nail in the coffin, man. Like that, when you see that, because also we know who's running the project: Michael Figge, like Beeple, Tim Smith, guys here. Like none of these people are I would say dumb enough to overstep bounds, which they know they would get like slapped on for doing so, aka legal repercussions for using IP that they did not have the rights to use. So again, like knowing how strategic and connected they are, it's again like this I don't know how somebody can't say, like, how can you deny it? Like I like, after looking at the team, Siri alone is like this main core element, like this main bridge that connects the two projects. I mean, Figge has also done so much work in the sense of production and all these other things, and we can see sort of similar production value in what's been created from Yuga as for 10KTF. And as you said with people, like they're saying we don't need to hire somebody to make this, we make this shit. So again, I don't understand how somebody could just not go like, oh yeah, like, okay, I'll accept it at this point, because it's fine if you don't want to, I guess, that's okay, but don't say we didn't tell you so.
Yeah, I think that it's like right there in front of our face. And I don't necessarily know the breakdown of who's going to get land or why they're going to get it, but I do. Go ahead.
All flamethrowers are getting land. So if you got to get a flamethrower, I'm selling mine for 100 ETH right now if you want it. So, just joking.
I mean, dude, that might be it. You never know. But they have said Genesis is king, or Genesis is reign supreme. Genesis will always be the number one or whatever. Shopkeeper Nikki, I'll actually put the Discord, chat right here, send that over to our producer as well. But there's been this conversation that Genesis is the king of the project, and we haven't really been rewarded as Genesis holders. We're just kind of like, it's that hopium, like, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And obviously I'm here to pump my bags. That's the whole point of this show. So go get a Genesis item.
Let's go.
If you don't, I'll kill you. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But there's 14,761 Genesis items in the collection. And what's really like special about that is obviously there's never going to be more Genesis items within the collection. 10KTF will continue to add more parent projects in because they're basically the building blocks. They're bringing everybody in, they're funneling it in so that way we can include everybody. It's the most inclusive project in the space. It's not like, hey, you have a Bored Ape, you can't sit with us. It's like, hey, you got a Bored Ape, come over here. Hey, you got a World of Women, come over here. Everybody is accepted, and you can see that whenever you go into Twitter Spaces. Our Twitter Spaces, it's the most diverse for NFTs out of any project in the space, hands down. And one of the big things to highlight is that 15% go to developers. Well, what I saw with that is that 15,000 and 14,761, that's pretty close together, right? So that's kind of my speculation, is that we're going to get land, and Genesis holders will be rewarded for holding out and being there all along, just waiting for their reward for holding their boots and their day pack.
So
Anything to add?
Yeah, hold on really quick. Okay, I think we're ready for it now. So you just hit something in my mind, because again, the kaiju print, we'll have Nick, our producer, bring that photo up later on. But the kaiju print shows an individual throwing day packs, Genesis. We don't know if they're Genesis, but day packs into a fire towards a kaiju. Okay, so the team doesn't do things on accident. We saw like the sale/ape thing, like that's not an accident. So I am wondering if you're going to have to burn a Genesis bag, or maybe more than one. Let's go, get it on, to get the land. What do you think of that? Because again, thinking of this as a deflationary asset as well, because the team is very aware of that as well. How many collections do we have on this, and how many items does that mean can be made? It's a shit ton, to say the least. Diamonds crunches the numbers, and when you hear them, it's a lot. So at the end of the day, I think that they're going to start implementing burn mechanics that will be able to be used for people that want to participate in something like that, and people that don't want to. Like, Genesis is king for a reason, and we have not seen a major reward for Genesis since the beginning of the project, which we're coming around to the year mark. So get those tinfoil hats on tight, y'all.
I just gotta say, your hat's a lot cooler than mine. Mine needs some work. But yeah, dude, I think that that's a really good, speculation. Burning of the day packs is definitely something that is very interesting. And another thing that I really highlight is that when they released level 2, there was no, item that replaced the day pack, for, the game mechanics in Battletown, right? So
Right.
you have this slot, and that obviously will increase the value of the day pack because everybody needs one, right? Everybody
100%.
is required to use a day pack if they want a full set, right? To be able to send into battle. So there could be something there 100%. And I think that that's pretty good speculation. As far as the burn mechanics, I think that they do need to implement something, whether that's going to be burning Genesis. I mean, those are my grails, baby. So I hope it's not, because there's only so many of them, if you start burning them up.
I mean, even thinking about like how you would burn even crafted items, though, like we'll get into that in another segment. But this is a mechanic that I'm curious to discuss. And if you, as the community that are watching or listening, have any thoughts, please drop comments below and let us know what you think of the potentials of burn mechanics, not only for Genesis and what that would yield if you were to burn it, but also craft it. Because if you're able to do certain things like burn a pair of high tops with like a combat helmet, and those make combat boots, now we're talking about like we're taking, we're deflating the total supply and giving people items that are going to give them a higher loadout and potentially cooler shit in the end of the day. So
Well,
I don't know.
and we obviously know that you can use like items, like from one collection, burn them and create another item in a different collection. We've seen
Precisely.
Wenew do this over and over and over. So they've been testing the mechanics that's, make that possible 100%. Another thing I wanted to really like highlight real fast is also, just getting a little bit further into the details. You have the Otherside tweet, and you had what is it? um, what's his name?
Grimecraft.
Grimecraft, who created, or I guess helped create. Maybe you can hit a little bit on that, but this is the first video of the Otherside, like obviously showing some of the game mechanics and showing Curtis kind of running around. And right here in the background of the video, I'm gonna full screen this bad boy. You can see right here in the background a floating island. And if you pull up New Tokyo, which I'll actually pull up on, I'll just have Nick pull this up, but let's do a side by side, put like the New Tokyo map right here, and you can see that there's a direct like correlation. You have like the Oni Tower right here, and some similar shapes that really like stand out and make this look like it's New Tokyo floating in the distance. Now, that might be some tinfoil shit, but I don't know what else like that could be. And there's some other stuff, like obviously the recent video whenever we did the first trip, and they like did a glimpse of the next trailer, and it shows like the bonsai tree with the energy coming through it. And there's some speculation there, and we'll definitely like expand on that a little bit. What I think, New Tokyo Electric Company, right? These guys at the NFT NYC event wearing New Tokyo Electric bonsai tree, baby. Like let's get into that next episode, maybe 3 from here. But like there's so many different things. And also, I mean, NFT NYC, just to point this out, there's a Coda bottle behind the bar, right? Just in front of all of our faces. Like I wanted a shot of that, like
It's IRL now. We were seeing it like digitally, and now we're like, oh shit, it's IRL. It's getting so real. It's like right there, man.
Yeah, the bartenders are like, we have a contract, we can't give you this.
I'm gonna
But
find a way.
there's so many different like overlapping different things that make the connection so strong. And obviously, like if you're in the space, if you're in the community, it's just like right there. The alpha is in plain sight, and that's something that's super unique about 10KTF is they're so strategic, they're so smart, and they literally place that stuff right in front of your face so you can get in early. And a real good example of this is like, we may have seen Renga presented to us, a month ago, and one of the trailers where Wagmi-san, as a young man, his shop gets burnt down. And maybe I can play that clip, but you wanna highlight some of that real quick, A-Bomb, while I'm pulling that up.
Absolutely. So yeah, the Renga art, DirtyRobot, shout out, and Tails also, just the team. And there's a lot of 10KTF OGs that are part of that team over there from Renga. It's also powered by Wenew. There's speculation into what that means, but at the end of the day, there is some sort of partnership between Renga and Wenew in some sort of working way. I don't know what the specifics are, obviously, but the speculation is that one of these big mob bosses that was squeezing Wagmi-san and took his poor kitty cat looks very similar art style to DirtyRobot. Now, this is the NFT space. Many artists can be commissioned out to do work for other, projects or companies. But again, the coincidence that it looks so similar to these PFPs that we just saw revealed from the black boxes from Renga, and as well the fact that Renga is like partnered in some way, shape, or form with Wenew Labs, the core company that created 10KTF. So tinfoil hat.
Yeah, so there's this whole video, and I'll go ahead and play a little of the sound. Now, this is
Super
super
dope.
interesting to me. I mean, obviously, like Renga just came out. It literally just popped up. We're able to burn these boxes, and it's powered by Wenew. We know this. And days before we're able to burn the boxes, they leak. A tiger crafted onto, I think it was a Kevlar vest, right? So we know that we're going to be able to craft these items in the 10KTF shop. We're going to be able to use Renga PFPs on items. And what's really interesting is that obviously they will continue to tell a story, and they're bringing more and more projects in to tell that story. And there's a lot of OGs that are part of the Renga project, like Abom mentioned. But right there, I think, let's see when that video is posted. I think it was let's see, April 28th. So a long time ago, right? And that's loose speculation. That those are people from Ranga, but like
But I
we
will
have
say
not.
this though. I will start to cut you out, like the whole Gucci thing. When a person came into one of the Twitter spaces that worked for YSL, said that because they're a part of this fashion sort of culture, they knew that Gucci was doing a collaboration with a project in NFTs, and that was in like fucking August or something like that. That the dude knew about that, and Gucci didn't happen until like late January or even like beginning of February. So to think like, yeah, April was like a little like, really, that's not that long ago comparatively
Yeah,
speaking. Like the way that the team makes moves, it is in advance. Again, like the whole thing we were talking about with the submarine and them acquiring that IP days before, like it's a little too simple. You know what I mean?
dude, makes me wonder. Tails has been a secret agent this whole freaking time, dude. She knows
Whole
more than
time,
she
man.
wants. Dude, she knows.
We see you. We see you, Tails.
They're wolves hiding in sheep clothing. Wolf
Damn
gang,
it.
baby.
Not again. So it's already happened
Yeah,
to
but
my farmer hat.
well, all right.
Damn
So
wolves.
I think let's wrap things up. I really do. Land is coming. We are gonna get it. Whether it's in the other side or if it's not in the other side, we're getting fucking land. And
Let's
every
go.
10 KTF holder, you better be ready. Hold on to your panties because shit's about to get batshit crazy. I'll have that posted right here. We're gonna have some stuff go wild, and I really don't think that we're there yet. I think that there's a lot more to come. I think that being integrated into Yuga Labs, and once that really takes effect, I think that that's when shit gets batshit, if you will, as
I
Beeple
agree, and
says.
we need to hit that topic up because that's one of the big things that I love to talk about because that's really good speculation. Is what does Beeple's bad shit mean? And
Yeah,
connecting that
yeah.
to what's currently going on in the project is a lot of fun. So let's do that on another episode.
Well, Abom, why don't you wrap things up and yeah, send off our audience.
Cool. All right. Well, first of all, you guys, I am A Bomb. Have the pleasure of being here with obviously Crypto Dilly. We are Speculation Alley. We are here every Wednesday releasing new content to the community, for the community, and newcomers alike that just gets into the deep nitty gritty of sort of the speculation that could be actually taking place in reality that we hope to see come to fruition, like everyone getting codas and land and juice and all those good things. But for
All the
real, we
fun
just
stuff.
appreciate. Yeah, yeah, just all the good shit. We get all the goodies, okay? That's our speculation. We get Lambos and Coda Juice, all right? And land. But no, for real, we just appreciate you guys being here. Be on the lookout for more of our content to come out. Please do subscribe. Leave comments. We'd love to hear your guys' speculation as well. If you have any subject matters you guys want us to hit on specifically, please leave us a comment. We'd love to get into some of that stuff. So we appreciate you coming and look forward to seeing you next time.
Peace.